Confidence is your best accessory. It is your best asset. Nothing, just nothing makes a woman more powerful or more magnetic than confidence. Remember those women when they step into the room and it's just like everybody's like, wow. Doesn't matter what she wears. If she's having that confidence, that is unmatched. And it is honestly, and I have to clarify this one, and I think I talked about this before, but it's just so important to understand that confidence is not something you're being born with. It is something that you build. And when you build it right, it becomes your quiet power. It is that thing that speaks for you even before you ever open your mouth, and it speaks for you when you left that room. Trust me. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do just that through 6 steps that turn self-belief into presence, consistency, and authority. So confidence is not luck. It is actually a strategy. It is the architecture behind every powerful woman that you secretly admire. And I think we all have that role model where like, oh, I just wish I could be that woman. Because confident women, they do not move faster. They move with clarity. Like they know exactly who they are, what they stand for, and what's simply just not up for debate. And that's what we are going to build together, you and me, today. These 6 steps gonna help you to redefine confidence, not as a mood that comes and goes, but actually as a system that you can lead from every single day. So grab a pen and paper and let's go. Welcome to You Can and You Will. I'm your ace. I'm Kathrine Louis. I'm an executive coach for ambitious women, communication consultant for C-level leaders in one of Europe's largest groups, and very proud mama of my 3 babies. On this podcast, we talk about what it really takes to step into your next level, the strategy, the energy, and the identity behind unstoppable success. Because the moment you align with who you are and what you do, success stops feeling like effort and starts feeling inevitable. If this resonates with you, please make sure to subscribe and leave it a 5-star review on your most favorite podcast platform. And make sure to share this episode with a friend, a loved one, or a coworker who really needs to hear this message today. And also, I do have a little gift for you at the end, so make sure to stay tuned because you really don't want to miss this one. Okay, so if you know me, you already know we need a game plan, right? Because everything, and I keep on preaching that, and I'm so serious about that. Everything you want to change in your life, you want to improve or you want to work on, whatever it truly is, big or small, it doesn't matter. You need to make a decision, and then, and by the way, decision is such a major key in all of this, like the biggest and most crucial component. And then B, make it a project, like put up a game plan. That's something that you can literally blindly execute. So step number 1, treat confidence like a serious project. And guess what? Decide on a clear outcome. Because confidence needs a plan. Like you cannot hope your way into this or wishing on a wishful star. You know what I mean? This is why people fail when achieving their goals so many times because they're just wishing on a star. That's not going to happen. However, you do design it like you would design a launch or a promotion, whatever it is that you're seriously working on, that's how we're going to treat this. So, first and foremost, I need you to think about the version of you, specifically of you, who already feels unshakable. Like, who is she? Where does she operate with ease? And where does she hesitate? What kind of decisions does she do? And I really need you to be precise and adapt this to everyday real life moments of your very own life. So, for example, maybe you want to speak up in senior meetings without rehearsing every single word, because also there's only so much you can rehearse, right? Or maybe you want to sell your offer calmly and pitch it to an agency, or maybe even on camera. Or maybe, and that's a big one, it is about finally setting boundaries without the guilt. So I need you to be, again, very precise on how that adapts to your life and what are the very specific moments that you want to be your most confident, confident self. So what we want to do then is we really going to treat this as a project. So we're going to set an outcome, assign the deadlines, and then measure the progress. Because the truth is that confidence also compounds when you track it. Like just the way that you would track revenue, performance, or fitness. Because here's the thing, you have to collect the data, and that data is going to prove for you, and that is actually what builds confidence. So again, we first want to pick an area where confidence would really change it all for you. And then you want to break it down into 3 repeatable actions that you will execute every single week. So for instance, we were talking about maybe you want to speak up in senior meetings without rehearsing every word. So how you can start working on that is you just do that in other meetings with other people. And the more you actually take that stage and the more you will actually just really speak up and train it, the more it becomes natural to you. And then when you are in an actual senior meeting, you're not going to second guess or think about everything all the time, but it will be so much more natural to you to actually speak up. And this is why we really want to measure this one too, and why you really want to train, because you don't need motivation in situations like that. Like motivation is only going to do so much for you. However, if you have the matrix, if you see, okay, there were so many meetings that I spoke up, that I was like taking a position, that's going to make you more confident. That's going to give you that self-trust because you see that it's actually working out in your favor. Step number 2 is knowing who you are and then start walking as her. Guess what? You cannot embody what you have not defined. And you would be surprised how many women think they know themselves, but in actuality, they do not really know themselves at all. And most women say that they do want to feel more confident, but they cannot describe who that confident version actually is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't know who you are, if you cannot really put your finger on who that confident version of yourself is, like what is her identity, how are you going to get there to begin with? So you really want to start here. What do you value? What energizes you? And what drains you? You have to know the positives and the negatives in order to really make that thing work. And then what is also super important is what kind of woman do you actually admire? And which of those traits already live in you quietly, just waiting to be used? Because here's the thing. If we admire other people, if we're like, oh, I just wish I could be like her, chances are, it's actually a given even, that she has traits that resonate with you on such a deep level that you feel this instant connection. And just probably she has more, she's being more confident or whatnot. And this is something that you latch onto. And this is why you feel like so attracted to that person or that you admire that person so much. So really make sure to figure out what are the traits that she has that you already have, that they're like sleeping inside of you. So once you have that down, you really want to decide, not think about, not just, maybe, there could be this. No, you want to decide, who am I becoming? Remember, nothing as powerful as a decision that you're going to execute on. And then this is really important because confidence is not pretending, it is rehearsing. Okay, this is not we're pretending to be. However, it is rehearsing. Whenever you want to do something, there's going to be a time where you have to do it for the first time. Just get over with that. Just start out. And then when you start working into rooms as the woman you are becoming, even before the external results catch up, your body will actually learn that she is real. So, what I love doing here is you really want to write down a short declaration starting with I am the woman who, like describing her behavior, her energy, her standard. How does it feel being like her? And then ask yourself every single morning, what would she do today? And then act accordingly. It's not about being perfect, but this is truly about being consistent. I think I shared this in another episode before too. If you write those short declarations, those statements, what you can do is write it down on a piece of paper and put it somewhere where you can read it every single day for as many days as you need it, honestly, because I feel like if you read it every single day, it's just going to be ingrained in your system much more deep, much more quicker, and it's just going to be a new normal for you. Step number 3, be authentically you and love it. That's such a big part of it because confidence collapses the moment that you outsource it. What do I mean by that? When your self-worth depends on applause, you will just always feel shaky because you cannot control external perception. You cannot control outside validation, nor should you. Confidence is true alignment at its best. And funny enough, I feel like people do not understand that. So many women come to me and be like, oh, I want to be confident. I want to be confident. Well, but do you know that this is about alignment, about loving yourself, about being authentically you? And they go like, oh. So when you see a confident woman, chances are she's done all the self work, better believe. She's done all the journaling, all the, mindset work. She has been there. She's done all of that because confidence is alignment. It is when your thoughts, your words, and your actions finally match. And that what also creates the biggest peace. And peace reads as power. I think we all know that. So what you really want to do is stop filtering your truth through the fear of judgment. That's a biggie. We all fear of being judged so many times. No reason for that. Why would you want to allow somebody else to judge you? You just got to say what's real. Wear what feels like you, like your opinion, your ideas, and then lead the way that you actually think. That's how people also start trusting you because they can feel you're not performing. That's a very energetic, subconscious kind of thing. People will not always be able to put their finger on it and name it. However, they sense when you are in alignment. You know those people, how they feel like wishy-washy and very not trustworthy when they pretend to be somebody or something which they're obviously very much not. It's how they talk, it's how they move, it's how they look, how they're not keeping eye contact. That's not trustworthy. However, if you are being aligned, when you are completely yourself, your authentic self, that energy hits different. And that's true confidence, in my opinion. So, what you can do right here is identify one area where you dilute yourself, maybe in meetings, your wardrobe. Oh, wardrobe, that's a big one for women. Or even your pricing, if you run a business. That's a big one. If you are aligned, if you know what you bring to the table, if you know your skill set, there is no diluting in that area, right? So this week, remove one of those layers of performance. That is so important. And also, by the way, once you have taken that step, that's going to make you more confident too. Remember about collecting the data and the proofs. So definitely, yes, I'm just going to give that away. You're going to feel vulnerable for a moment. However, you will also feel very free immediately after. Okay, step number 4. This is going to be a bit of a pep talk, and I just have to give it to you, okay? Because step number 4 is stop competing. You are a category of one. And respectfully, there is no effing competition whatsoever. And no, it's not being arrogant, it's the truth. No other person on this planet has your mix of history, intellect, intuition, humor, and emotional range. And yet, most women drain confidence by comparing highlight reels that have nothing to do with their lane. Remember, the grass is greener where you water it and not on the other side. And frankly, all this social media, all this scrolling on TikTok and whatnot, it's not going to help. Remember, this is just a picture or a few seconds of a day. And this is just honestly that highlight reel that's not going to help you not comparing. So maybe you want to do a social media detox altogether if that is something you're battling with. So ultimately, confidence becomes unshakable when you understand I am incomparable by design. Period. You are not in the business of being better, and you're not in the business of being distinct. And that's what magnetism is: full ownership of your difference. And this is not saying that you're perfect and the others are not. Again, it is full ownership of your difference. So, what I want you to do right now, right here, is write down at least, yes, I said it, at least 11 things about you. So, what are you specifically good at? What are your skills? Are you particularly crafty, creative? Do you love to cook, to bake? Like, what is it? Who is that person that is listening to this episode right now? Write it down. Once you've got that, it is that you know when you are in your lane, comparison becomes irrelevant. And why would you to begin with? Step number 5 is something that I feel like most women are not aware of whatsoever. You have to keep the promises that you make to yourself because you really need to stop betraying your own word. Every single confident woman that you see has one thing in common. That is self-trust. I just said that and I said it before. They don't always know what's next because life's going to happen. We never know what's going to happen next, right? But they will know how to handle it, and they trust themselves knowing that they're going to handle it. And that trust is built. It is not given. You build that season by season, by everything life is throwing at you. You build that. And every single time that you keep a promise to yourself, waking up when you said that you would, honoring your workout, sending that email that you've been avoiding, you prove to your subconscious that you are dependable. And that kind of self-trust is not just crucial for your confidence, it is also just important for your life overall and the goals that you achieve and the lifestyle that you make and the career that you make and the happiness in your family. Self-trust is, so underrated. So, but also the opposite is true. Every time that you break your own word to chase instant validation, you actually going to tell your brain that you cannot rely on you. And that confidence erodes quietly. And that's actually a big catastrophe. So how are we going to build this self-trust right now? And it doesn't matter where you start. So if you're saying, okay, self-trust, I don't even know how to spell that thing. this is going to work for you. If you say, okay, I have a little bit of self-trust, but I'm lacking in certain departments, you're going to love this one too. So I need you to choose one really just micro promise this week, maybe like a 10-minute walk, maybe inbox zero by the end of your workday, or just one tough conversation even. Honestly, whatever it is, keep it like like your life depends on it, because it somewhat does. Just keep that promise to yourself. Confidence grows when consistency becomes non-negotiable, as always. Step number 6 is going to tie it all together. We're going to build evidence, because confidence is a skill that you can acquire. Remember how I said that in the beginning? Again, confidence is not a personality trait, it is a learned competency. And the only way to master it is to collect that data that's going to prove that you, in fact, can. So, every single time that you act with courage, send the proposal, make the ask, post the idea, you gather that proof. And each proof point rewires your brain from I cannot to I did that. So that's how unshakable confidence performs. It truly is not overnight, but through repetition and evidence. So, what you can do to build this one fast and quick and really sustainable is I need you to create a proof log. Like each night, you can write down a sentence like, today I proved my confidence by X, Y, and Z. And also, if maybe you can have a picture on something that you have accomplished, save it in there too. And after 30 days, you really want to review your notes, or honestly, whenever you feel the need to it, whenever you feel down, whenever you feel in doubt, make sure to go for this one and check it out, because that is your very personal case study in self-trust. And believe me, it's gonna change everything. Such a log, such a proof log is magic in itself. Truth to be told, confidence is not an aesthetic. It is an outcome, like the natural result of clarity, evidence, and self respect. So, you really want to treat it like a project. Then, you want to know who you are. Obviously, you're going to speak your truth. You're going to keep in your own lane. Remember, the grass is greener where you water it. You really want to keep that word to yourself. And then lastly, you want to collect that proof. If you do that, and you won't have to try to be confident, you will just simply become the woman who moves with quiet certainty and powerful presence everywhere that she goes. And before I let you go, I promised you a little gift. So here we go. I created something very special for you, a 2026 vision board wallpaper for your phone. I designed it specifically as a daily reminder of the woman that you are becoming, calm, confident, and completely in control of her next chapter, because that's what we're here for, right? And the thing about that visual reminder on your phone is I don't think there's anything else we look as often at as your phone, right? So this is what makes it so extremely powerful. You can download it right now. The link is down below in the show notes. It's for free. Set it as your lock screen and then start embodying her energy every single day. You're welcome. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.